Hello everybody, welcome to today's crash course. Today we are going to be talking about slave spirituals.
What even is a slave spiritual?
Well, I'll tell you. A spiritual is a type of religious folk song that is most closely associated with the enslavement of African people in the American South. Spirituals also stem from the ring shout, a shuffling circular dance of chanting and hand clapping that was common among early plantation slaves. Today's slave spiritual is going to be called Gonna Shout All Over God's Heaven, also known as I Got Shoes and Heaven Heaven.
I got a rope, you got a rope, all of God's children got a rope. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my robe, gonna shout all over God's heaven. Heaven, heaven, everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Heaven, heaven, I'm gonna shout all over God's heaven. I got a crown, you got a crown, all of God's children got a crown. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my crown, gonna shout all over God's heaven. Heaven, heaven, everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Heaven, heaven, gonna shout all over God's heaven. I got a shoes, you got a shoes, all of God's children got a shoes. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my shoes, gonna walk all over God's heaven. Heaven, heaven, everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Heaven, heaven, shout all over God's heaven.
Let's start off by talking about the meaning. In the beginning of each stanza, the slaves often mention luxurious items that slaves didn't often have. For example, robes, crowns, shoes, and harps. When the slaves sang these songs, it often gave them hope that they would one day possess these items once they got into heaven. So what's the meaning of this?
This is significant because at the end of the poem, it talks about how everyone has a song. This is important because during this time period, it was widely believed that everyone had the same opportunity to celebrate Jesus. Celebrating Jesus gave the slaves hope to keep going and to keep working hard and the opportunity to go to heaven one day. Not only was there hope in escaping slavery, but also entering God's heaven and living an eternal life. The secret meaning of this song can be found in stanza 2, where it says, "Everybody's talking about heaven, ain't going there." This is hypocrisy because the slave owners treat the slaves unequally and tell them all these lies. They tell them that they need to do exactly what they say to be able to enter into heaven, whereas the slaves know they're going to heaven because the slave owners treat them unequally and they lie to them. The slave owners never understood the secret meaning of this song because the slave owners always thought the slaves were talking about themselves not going to heaven, whereas the slaves knew that they were actually talking about the slave owners.
So what are we actually learning from this?
Today we learned that these slave owners took everything they had for granted, whereas the slaves valued every little thing that they were given. The slaves valued these things because they knew that they would have even better when they achieved eternal life. Quick review. These slave spirituals were commonly sang all over Southern America by slaves on plantations that were hoping for a better life. These slave spirituals were essential to getting them through the day, whether they were in the fields or in the house. These slave spirituals gave them hope to get through that day and better hope for the next day.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned a lot about this slave spiritual and slave spirituals in general. Thank you to Emma and Nicole for helping me make this. I couldn't have done it without them, so thanks to you guys. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.